All right, so when a huge player like Compass gets a new president, you know everyone's watching. They want to know, what's the new game plan? So that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're diving into Neda Navab's strategy and what it signals for the future of real estate.
So what's her first big move? Her top priority in her first 100 days? Well, it's not some flashy new tech or a big corporate announcement. Nope, it's hosting 100 different events. And the whole point? To get out there, boots on the ground, and connect directly with the people she says are the absolute core of the business, the agents.
And honestly, this single quote she gave, it tells you everything you need to know. This isn't just some fluffy corporate speak. This is the bedrock of her entire philosophy. It's a belief that runs so deep that to really get it, to understand her vision for Compass, we've actually got to rewind the clock. Way back, decades before she was even at the company.
Okay, so to really unpack that philosophy, we have to look at Neda Navab's personal journey. See, her path to becoming president wasn't just, climbing the corporate ladder. She calls it a full circle moment, and it's all tied up in her family's incredible story. And what a story it is. Get this. Back in 1979, her mother fled Iran during the Islamic Revolution. She showed up in Boston with absolutely nothing. She started out working at a Dunkin' Donuts and from there worked her way up to become a real estate agent. And for her mom, this wasn't just a career, it was everything. It was the key that unlocked a whole new life for their entire family.
And here's the kicker. Neda saw all of this unfold firsthand. She wasn't just hearing stories about the hustle. She was literally in the passenger seat, watching it happen. And that experience, it gave her this deep, lifelong respect for what it takes to be an agent. The grit, the heart. That's the why behind her whole agent-first strategy.
Now, her professional journey is just as important here. She's known the CEO, Robert Reffkin, for more than 20 years. They met at Columbia. When she joined Compass in 2018, it was as his chief of staff. Think about that. That role gave her a complete 360-degree view of the entire operation before she ever started climbing the ladder. So this vision she has, it's not coming from an outsider. It was built from the inside, from the ground up.
Okay, so that brings us to today. She's in the top spot. So how does all that personal history, her mom's story, her own journey, actually translate into a strategy for a massive company like Compass? Well, it all boils down to this really powerful but simple idea she has, a kind of two-part metaphor that perfectly explains her vision.
And here it is. Big is our engine. Boutique is our edge. I love that. So the big engine, that's all the stuff you'd expect from a giant company, right? The national platform, the cutting-edge tech, a massive referral network. But then there's the boutique edge. That's the feeling. It's knowing that when an agent walks into their local office, the person at the front desk knows their name, asks about their kids. It's all about taking that massive scale and making it feel personal, human.
Okay, so that sounds great, right? Big engine, boutique edge. But what does that actually look like in the real world? How does it work for an agent day to day? Let's get into it. We're going to look at two perfect examples of this strategy in action, a huge industry partnership and how they're thinking about AI.
All right, first up, the Redfin partnership. And just so we're clear, Redfin is one of the top 3 biggest property search websites in the US. This is a massive deal, and it's the perfect example of using that big engine to give Compass agents a tool that honestly smaller firms just can't compete with.
So what problem does this solve? It's designed to tackle something super frustrating for sellers called digital baggage. You know what I'm talking about, right? It's that public digital footprint a listing gets. How many days it's been on the market, any price drops. All that stuff can really hurt a seller's negotiating power, sometimes before they've even gotten their footing.
Okay, so check this out. This is the brilliant part. A Compass agent can now list a home as coming soon only on Redfin. This puts the property in front of 60 million people a month. And here's the magic. They can test out the price, see what kind of feedback they get, and tweak things all before the clock starts ticking on days on market. It's basically a risk-free sandbox to get everything perfect before the big public launch.
Okay, example number 2 of the big engine at work, their take on AI. Now, let's be real, a lot of people in this industry are kind of nervous about AI, worried it's going to replace them. But Navab's vision is totally different. For her, AI isn't the replacement, it's the assistant. It's a tool to make great agents even better.
And she tells this incredible story about an agent up in Connecticut to prove her point. This agent needed to make a high-end Instagram video for a new listing, so she turned to AI. But she didn't just ask it to write a script. No, she used it like her own personal Hollywood director.
The AI told her how to walk, how to gesture with her hands, exactly where to stand in the house for the best shot. And the final video? Navab said it was phenomenal, a total 10 out of 10.
So do you see the pattern here? It doesn't matter if we're talking about a massive multi-million-dollar tech partnership or a single agent playing around with an AI app on our phone. The ultimate goal is always the same. The entire strategy, every single move, it all funnels back to one and only one core principle.
And it's this: all roads lead back to the agent. That's it. It all connects. From her mom's story of building a life in America through real estate to her own calendar being jam-packed with meetings with agents, every single decision gets run through one simple filter. How does this help our agents win?
Which leaves us with a pretty interesting question to chew on, doesn't it? In an age where AI and tech are everywhere, where everything's becoming automated, is it possible that the most valuable asset, the ultimate competitive edge, isn't the technology at all? Maybe, just maybe, it's the one thing that can't be coded, that human touch. And that's exactly what Compass is betting its entire future on.